Good evening. Welcome to a late week, late night edition of Warrenton's Fantasy Football League. I am your commissioner and host, Jeff Darling, here with your Week 10 recap. And my Week 11 preview is going on while a game is going on right now on my TV, as you can see. Oh, wait, no, I forgot to turn it on. But the game is going on. I'm currently losing right now, I think, to Michael. But that's fine. We're just not going to talk about that yet. We're going to focus on how Week 10 went. How did Week 10 go? Week 10 went pretty interestingly. We had some really entertaining games going all the way up into the final Monday night game. But let me not get ahead of myself and let me go with the first game that is showing up for me. And since it's my app I'm logged into, I can pull up, and it's my team that comes up first. So the Dallas Jeff Boys taking on Field of Dreams. My team, after starting the season 1-3, had gone on a surprising 5-game win streak, turning things around. Could it be 6 games in a row? Well, I don't know. It was looking pretty dicey. I didn't make the right choice at tight end again. I made the absolute wrong choice with my flex position, putting Jahan Dotson in. That's what I get for trusting a Commanders player. And then my defense got me 0 points. So you're saying a flex position got you 0, a defense got you 0, and you put the wrong person in as your tight end, and you left 12 points, 25 points, 10 points, and 24 points on your bench? Jeff, surely you didn't win. Surely I did, because I was playing Carlos. 116.02 to 65.6. Thanks again to CeeDee Lamb saving me with his 35 points. Goff again, 22 points. That was really all that it was. Between Goff and Lamb, I essentially was able to beat what was a pretty mediocre showing by Carlos. And it's not your fault, Carlos. You have your entire bench as Kansas City Chiefs. So if they had been playing last week, maybe you would have had a chance to score more points. Thankfully for me, I got you on your bad bye week. And that's, I think everyone, when you do your draft, you probably agree there's going to be 1 week where all of your best players are going to be in bye week. And you just kind of eat that loss, and there's nothing you can do. So that was it. 6 games in a row. I'm pretty happy about that. Moving right along, gone on strike, going up against slightly above average team. And Matt, I promised myself I wasn't going to rag on you a ton. All I'm going to say is keep talking in the Discord channel, because it's actually very entertaining. And I know you didn't view this as overconfidence and predicting that you were going to win, but when Greg was getting all woe is me about learning how to play the flute and everything, and you said, hey, your video is going to be great, I just think you don't say stuff like that, because fantasy football pays attention, and fantasy football will have you going in feeling pretty confident into the final Monday night game, and then fantasy football will say, just kidding, your guy is not going to score any points, and Josh Allen's going to have one of his worst games ever. And let's go ahead and just have James Cook have a super crazy long run on the final drive of the game, fumble it back into his own arms and run for like 50 yards, sealing your doom. And slightly above average team got back to average, back to 500, and eked out a win, 114.7 to 109.28. And it was entertaining. We all loved it. That was primo fantasy football to be able to watch. And 109, Matt, it's a bummer. It's a good score, just not good enough. Congratulations, Jason. You're back to 500. Let's just go with slightly average team right now, because the above hasn't really been true this year. Moving on. Okay, guys. Brandon, come on. Honestly, ChatGPT taking on the Weasel. And you got to feel for the Weasel. 106. That's a good score. What did he do wrong? What did he do wrong, guys? He didn't do anything wrong. He made all the right choices, started all the right people. He even had Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa both on bye week, and he still was able to get 106 points with Taylor Heineke being his backup quarterback and leaving the game early. Scored 106. Very good job, Paul. Unfortunately, the one thing you did wrong was going up against Brandon on just what is a ridiculous week. 198 points, as far as I can recall. Yeah, that's a record. That is a record for our league. Dak Prescott, 39 points. Eckler, 19. White 16, St. Brown 27, DK Metcalf 13, George Kittle 21, Keenan Allen 36, Cleveland defense 15. Your worst person was Kicker the Dicker, or Dicker the Kicker, with 9 points, and that was actually higher scoring than any of Greg's players this week. I'm not trying to rip on you, Greg, but I think that's actually very true. Yeah, when you're averaging 25 points a person, there's literally nothing you can do. Congratulations. And your bench, Geno Smith, 26, Tyler Boyd, 16, Pittman Jr., 12. Guys, I think we got to watch out for the robots. The AI is taking over the world. My job's probably going to be eliminated in the next 2 to 5 years. Half of our jobs are going to be replaced with robots. In our fantasy football league, there's probably going to be a bunch of AI people picking humans to do menial tasks that robots don't feel like doing. They'll bet how many points we can do of these menial tasks, and then we'll get drafted and then eventually cut and then killed. I've watched The Matrix. Okay, moving on. The Wanakee Squirrel Salad's taking on Team Queen, and Team Queen, you're bad start to this season. 0-4, I believe, but coming on strong in the recent weeks. Your team's remembering what football is, doing pretty well there. Team Queen scored 96 points. Greg, how did you do? Couple people on your bench that maybe you should have started, but I don't think it would have helped. And I wasn't trying to be mean saying that Brandon's worst player outscored your team. I was wrong. Zay Flowers got you 9.8 points. So technically, Brandon's worst player did not outscore your best player. But yeah, Derrick Henry. I don't think he's the same Derrick Henry that he was 2 years ago. Whatever happened to Todd Gurley? There's a lot of dudes that were like prime peak fantasy studs, and then just you wake up and you're like, I don't think they exist anymore. I feel like Derrick Henry is going to be that person next year, or he's going to bounce back this coming week, but I don't think that's going to happen. He doesn't quite seem to have his mojo and his juice. 54 points, not super great. I think you need better tight ends than 2 guys that no one's ever heard of. So maybe try that. Also, maybe try to go back in time and get back all of the people that you drafted, because that was probably a better roster than the current one you have now. But that's okay. Moving right along, Flute Master going up against Uncle Touchdown. Wow, Michael, your first positive streak, 2 games in a row. The surprising upset of Sean's number 1 seeded team, losing 114-91. It was all coming down to that Monday night game. Could Michael hold on? Usually the answer's been no this season, but this time Buffalo's defense and Buffalo's kicker was not enough. It was not enough. Only got you a combined 8 points there. And Sean, it's not like you made the wrong choices. I mean, if you started Josh Dobbs, maybe. If you started, who's this guy? Williams, that had you 19 points on your bench. If you started Devontae Adams, maybe you could have won. In fact, it's looking like, yeah, you may have made some wrong choices. But hey, you've only lost twice this whole season. Get it out now. Come playoffs, just come back fully charged. We're all going to not want to be playing against you. It's okay. Christian McCaffrey, only 17 points. What a bum. First game without a touchdown all year. What a loser. That's why you lost. He wasn't playing hard enough. Moving right along here, the last matchup was Team Midnight going against Team Touchdown. And Dan, congratulations on the news. I will leave it vague at that because you guys are just weird, and I feel like you don't announce things. But people ask, Jeff, what are you talking about? They can go ahead and ask you in our chat. But congratulations, very excited for you. And for that reason, I won't make fun of you too much for your very aggressive comments against how happy you were to be playing Mike last week. Because boy, what was I saying about Matt? You can't just go ahead and say comments like that and expect there to be no repercussions, because your team just put up a real pooper right after you bashed Mike. And Mike's team said, you know what? I'm the 2-time defending league champ. You can't just trash me like that. Nope. Midnight Mike, 96.2 to Dan's 87.1. In fact, the score turned out to be so lopsided, I forget what made you so confident in the beginning. Dan, you probably should have played any of your other 2 quarterbacks instead of Trevor Lawrence. But then again, Mike could have played any other defense but Green Bay defense. He had San Francisco's for 19 on your bench. So anyways, pretty interesting. So let's take a quick look at the standings. In the East, Uncle Touchdown, you may have lost, but you're still in first place in our division, 8-2. still racking up the points. Dallas Chef Boys are 7-3, slightly above average team, 5-5. Team Touchdown and Gone on Strike both at 4-6. Wanakee Squirrel Salads at 3-7. Just want to point out a couple of streaks here. Sean's win streak is done. Chef Boy's 6 games in a row win streak. Team Touchdown has lost 3 in a row, and the Wanakee Squirrel Salads have lost 5 in a row. 5 weeks ago, Greg was 3-2 and feeling on top of the world. Right now, I think he may check his Amazon cart. I think he's picked out a nice recorder. Might be getting ready to start that because he's tied for last place. But let's take a look at the West. ChatGB Lee just crushing right now, averaging I think 145 points in the last 3 weeks, which is insane. It says that you've clinched the playoffs, and it said that about you, Sean, last week, but it doesn't really look like that's the case. So I'm not going to say that again for Brandon, even though I have an X next to your name. Won 3 games in a row, 8-2. Field of Dreams lost 3 games in a row, currently 5-5, tied with the Weasel at 5-5. Then Team Queen and Team Midnight Mike, again, this married couple, they do everything together. Both winning and losing on, I think, the exact same cadence the whole season, which is really strange. I'm gonna chart that out on paper next week just to make sure, because you're both 4-6, both started the season 0-4, one in the same week, lost the next. I think you guys have literally had the exact same record. Oh no, there was 1 week where you guys played each other. Other than that, anyways, pretty interesting. And then the Flute Master, Michael, has won 2 games in a row after being 1-7. He's now 3-7. And if he can pull off an upset against the amazing Dallas Jeff Boys this week, which is looking pretty likely, all of a sudden you'll have 4 wins, and it'll be pretty interesting how this season's going to shake out. So real quick, looking ahead to week 11, which is ongoing, we've got the preview. What are our matchups? I gotta find where I saved that. Oh, come on, phone. Did I not save? That's weird. All right, well, because I can't look at it now because the projections are all different. Anyways, the Dallas Jeff Boys are taking on Flute Master. It was projected me to be winning by a lot, but Michael, you already have 33 points. So don't beat me. The Weasels taking on Gone on Strike, projection Weasel 105 to Mets 102. Team Queen taking on ChatGB Lee. Hannah's putting up a valiant effort right now, but ChatGB Lee's projected 121 points. Ridiculous. Uncle Touchdown taking on the Wanakee Squirrel Salads. Greg, can you get your mojo back? Right now the projection says no, but we're all rooting for you, pal. I really would like you to win. That being said, huge losing streaks are pretty fun to watch. Team Touchdown taking on Field of Dreams. That's a pretty close matchup as far as projections are showing. And then a brotherly duel, slightly above average team taking on Midnight. And that one's also looking pretty close. See what happens if I don't do the previews early enough. Players are playing right now and it messes up what the projections are. I thought I really saved a screenshot of that, but I guess I didn't. Anyways, a couple things I wanted to shout out really quick. Number 1, don't forget, don't lose hope. We're still doing our losers bracket, which will be that $5 buy-in, and the winner of the losers bracket gets, I think, a total winnings of $25, which is better than coming in 3rd, 4th, or 5th, or 6th, because you actually get a chance to get your money back. So I just want to call that out. There was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember what it was. I need to go to bed because I'm driving to Tennessee tomorrow. Have a fantastic week. I'll see you guys later.